Okay. Very good morning, guys. Yeah. So, yeah. So last class, we have been in the middle, right? So what are we doing? Where we stopped it? Uh, thing 3, right? Add, I think we have created add, get, and also edit. We did not create the post. We did not create the post actions for them. Okay, we'll do. Yes. We have written it, and when we selected, the values are coming here, right? No images, na? Array, no images. So we don't require that image condition now. What to do? Pass this model object to DAL. Pass the model object to the DAL now. Okay. So let us write a DAL class method. Public void. Written a method with a name called insert employee. Remember, just let me check the method name. Employee insert. Okay, employee insert. What should I pass to it? EMPDPT. Right, that is only now coming from our model. Sorry, that is only coming from the view, and that is only bound to the view. EMPDPT. Guys, listen to me carefully. Do you remember the 3 steps to insert a record? What is the first step? Create a instance, initializing all the attributes. Second step, call a method called insert on submit. Third step, call submit changes. Are you people clearer or not? So what is the first thing? You're required to create a instance. Correct now? You're required to create a instance. Okay. So listen to me about creating an instance. Actually, in our first example, we done that. Second example, procedures. That's why we did not follow those steps. We called the procedures directly. Now we are not having the procedure. So we are again in the first process, like creating an instance. In the first example, you directly worked with the student model. What is bound to the view is also student. So that's why when the user entered the values and clicked on the save button, the first step is completed there. Student instance is created and all the attributes are initialized. Correct or not? All this happened in the controller class. So controller class directly sent that object to the DAL. So DAL then performed the second and third steps only. Yes or not? DAL then performed only second and third steps. Did not perform the first step. Why? First one is already done in the controller. Implicitly happened. We did not do that. It implicitly happened. Okay? But listen now. When we are dealing with the current example, our controller and model are not dealing with employee directly. They are dealing with a separate class called EMPDEPT. What is that? EMPDEPT. That EMPDEPT is only for view designing process and all. But we cannot use that. We cannot use that for inserting a record into the table. Then for inserting a record or updating a record or deleting a record, we require to deal with employee model, not EMPDEPT model. Did you catch my point or not? Which model? Employee model is the one which is bound with the database, not EMP-DEPT. It is not the EMP-DEPT. So the employee model is the one which is bound with the database, not EMP-DEPT. I hope you understood my point. Yes or not? So the thing what I'm trying to tell you right now here is you need to do all the 3 steps on your own now. First step, create an instance of the model. Which model? Employee model, and initialize the attributes. To initialize the attributes, you need the values now. The values are present here. Got it or not? The values are present here. You have all the values in this particular EMP. Understood my point? So what should I do? Step 1, create the instance of the employee. Employee obj is equals to new employee. It's a new record, right? Yes or not? Okay, and initialize all the attributes. What attributes? No need ID. Only name is equals to. Showing you see. What should I write? Array emp.name. Next. Status. And this value is a fixed value. No need to get it from. No need to pick from EMP-DEPT. Why? EMP-DEPT doesn't have that status at all. EMP-DEPT doesn't have that status. Who have? Employee. And what about ID? ID is auto generation. Database will generate. So I don't require the value. So, but status, I said you a problem. If you don't bring the status at all, no issue. But if status is brought, compulsory required SNA value. If I don't SNA value, what will be the default value? False. If I don't bring it, no problem at all. See, first example we brought. But second example, procedures example, we did not bring the status at all. See the second example, we did not touch the status anywhere. But third example again, status is loaded. Because it is loaded, you need to assign a value. But the value is fixed value. What is the value? True. See now, the first step. What is the first step? Create an instance and initialize all the attributes. First step is done. Second and third steps are same. You know the second and third steps? Huh? Tell me. Call insert on submit. DC dot employees dot insert on submit. What? OBJ. Third step. DC dot submit changes. This is going to save the data to the database server now. This is going to save the data to the database server. See that first step, created an instance. Second step, insert on submit. Third step, submit changes. Now you can see all the 3 steps what I explained to you now. Are you clear? So why are we doing this? Because this model is not capable of interacting with the database. This model is created only for view designing purpose. Are you clear? And you recollect yourself, what is the problem exactly we faced? Multiple models cannot be bound with a view. That is the reason why we created a model class combining the 2 models now. What? Employee, department. So tomorrow, if at all I just wanted to insert a record, I need to extract all the values from here, create this class instance and send it to the database. This is the class which can talk to the database. And this class, 2 reasons. 1, you're the defined class. 2, it has attributes of DEPT also. Then how can it work with employee now? So we need a model which can directly work with employee only. What is that? Employee model. Are you clear? Now, come on, let us call this method from the controller. Before this, what will you do? Cal dot employee insert, pass the EMP there. So this EMP you're passing here, and that is going to insert the record, redirecting to display employees. Do we have any records in our table now? 1 record now. Let us truncate the table once. Okay, freshly we'll do it. And the record manually inserted by us, I think. There I deleted. Let us see. I don't remember. MVC TB. truncate table employee. Yeah, guys, select star from employee. Watch empty table. Now I'm going to insert the record from my UI. The first record will be 1001, automatically generated. Okay, come on, run. Put in the mind, we have two separate models here. One model for view designing, one model for database communication. To interact with the database, we used employee model, and to design the views, we used EMP DEPT model. Both are not same. Clear? Yeah. By default, empty page, add new employee. Come on, fill in the values. And coming to the department, we are just going to assign a value, marketing or something. Oh, I put some extra semicolon there. That won't cause you any error, just unnecessary. We put a semicolon here, I think. Oh, not an error, just to say unnecessary semicolon is visible here. Okay, we'll deal with it, no issue. Now come to the controller, add a breakpoint. Only 4 values, right? Click on the save button. And when you click on the save button, the values are loaded into EMP. See, this EMP DEPT has 8 attributes in it. One attribute is to load all the department's data we written yesterday. Remaining 7 attributes are the combination of EMP and the DEPT. But here we don't want all the things here. What we want is only 5 values here. Only 5. ID, name, job, salary, and DID. And coming to ID, ID is auto generation. So exclude ID also. 4 only. Watch. Do you have the 4 values or not here? Verify. The 4 values, what you want are present here or not. What are the 4? DID is there. E-name is there. Job is there. Salary is there. What are not there? EID is not there. EID is auto generation. Status is not there because we are not providing the status to the user. Status is dealt by me in the background. Clear? And this cannot be sent to the database because the database needs a 6 properties model, not this model here. It doesn't require this model. What database require? Database require this 4 plus another 2 attributes, EID and status. EID and status. That is the model. So that is why when I pass it here, what is happening? See, all the 4 values are coming here first. Check it out. Same model came here. Now, what is happening? You are creating the instance of the employee with all the required attributes. See now, you have the 6 attributes what are necessary for you for employee. ID, employee ID, name, job, salary, status. Say, status is filled with a value now. What is missing? And his ID, it won't be in the application. Once it goes to the database, that is generated. Okay, fine. What next? Insert. Just a minute. Watch this here. If you go to this model class, there are a lot of other things also present here, fields and all these butler things. Looks a little bit clumsy. Means if you open the employee class, also a lot of coding is there. Did you notice it? Did you go and see that? Student class or employee class that are generated by what designer, a lot of code is there inside of it. I did not talk about all that particular code because I don't need them. What I need is only properties. When you need only properties, why all this particular code is being defined is only the confusion. Okay. Remember, we'll resolve it. We'll resolve that particular thing. Okay. Fine. So now I'm passing this OBJ to my database and still the data is not saved. When is it saved, sir? The data is saved only after you perform a submit. After the submit only, the data saving will be done. SQL Server hang. Okay. So now let me perform the submit changes. Come on. See there. Status is 1. Are you clear? And once again, I'm telling you, if you don't pass at all, then status will have the default value. If you pass something, status will take that value. That is why I assigned there. Are you clear? But recollect our yesterday's previous day's example, not second example. There, we did not take the status into consideration anywhere. So default value came. But here, if status is present in your application, something you should assign. If you don't assign, false will go. That is why I taken it as true there. Okay, fine, guys. Now this is inserted. Let us try inserting some few records. I will delete the breakpoint. Come on, add Suresh. Sales. Save. Accounting. Save. Okay. Finance. Save. Okay. Next. Clerk. 8,000. Department is marketing. James. Salesman. 20,000. Sales department. You can see now. Are you people clear? Understood? All clear? What next? Edit. When the user clicks on the edit, it should provide me a UI for editing name, job, salary, as well as department ID also. Same like employee now. But what is the difference? You know, in employee, you don't have a field for employee ID. But now you require a field for employee ID. Tomorrow user should know now what is modifying. Yes or not. But that should be non-editable. That should be non-editable. Okay, now let us do that also. Yeah, edit employee. Yesterday we written this method. We did not create the view. I think that's all. Right click, add view. The code in this view is exactly similar to the code in the add employee, but one extra field should come. That's all. So let me go to add employee, copy, come to edit, paste. What you're doing? Edit. What method you want to invoke? Update. Edit will call update. Remember? Next. All are same, guys. Only thing is we need one more extra field here representing employee ID, and this should be a read-only field. So, comma, new of @ read-only is equals to true. Read-only is equals to true. All same, but for remember, we don't require a reset button for edit. Remember, reset button. What should I do there? Cancel. What I need there is a cancel button. So change the caption of this as cancel. Cancel should take you to display employees back again. Yeah, guys, the view is ready. The view is ready. And now what you need to do, you're required to write the update employee method. Come to controller, help me. Public, redirect to route result. What should I pass? EMP, DPT, EMP. Return, redirect to action, display, employees. Display employees. And before that, I need to call an update method. Or I need to call the update method in the database. Come on, let's do it, guys. Let us go to del class and we will also write one update method. Help me. Public void remember this. Remember this. I said you 3 steps here. Create a reference. You need to create a reference now. Am I correct? I'm sorry, guys. This is not old values. This is new values. This is new values. Correct? Now you're required to create a reference with old values. Tell me. Which class? Why EMP? Employee, na? Don't remember the name also. Employee is equals to DC dot employees dot single. Okay, what? E lambda expression. E dot employee ID is equals to new values dot employee ID. New values dot employee ID. And I said here this is like a where clause. It's like a where clause. How? Where E dot EID is equals to the employee number. Okay, so as same as that. What will this get you now? Old values. Now all the old values will come. What are the? There are 6 old values now. What are the 6? Employee ID. Should I reassign a value to it? No, this is non-updatable. Name, reassign. Job, reassign. Salary, reassign. DID, reassign. And the status, no need. Why? Status default value is true and cannot be modified. So now also 4 only. Every time you do it with the 4 now. What are the 4? Old values dot ename is equals to. That is telling you, see. Next. Job. DID. Done. Last step. Submit changes. DC dot, I'm sorry. DC dot submit changes. Done. All the 3 steps you can see. First step, create a reference. Second step, reassign the old values with the new values. Submit. Guys, can you tell me the code for delete? Tell me. Public void employee underscore delete. What are the parameter you pass here? Employee ID. Correct now? First step. Create a reference. Tell me the code fast. Employee. Employee OBJ or EMP. New DC dot employees dot single E lambda expression. Directly you have EID, guys. No need a new values dot. Directly EID coming there. And here only one value can be updated. What is that? That is only showing you, see. Based on your previous code, it will tell you. Actually, AI, it reads everything now. Only EMP dot status. EMP dot status equals to false. DC dot submit changes. See, update code and delete code are same. Update deals with all the fields except status. Delete deals only with status. Okay, now come here and call that method. What is the method? Del dot employee update and pass the EMP to it. We'll debug, guys. Let us complete the last method also. Public redirect to route result delete employee. Del dot employee delete EID. Redirect to action. Which method? Display employees. Display employees. Yeah. I had a breakpoint in both the two places. Let me run. I want to just edit this record here. Edit. I want to see this is non-editable. Now the name I'm changing to Jones. The job salary I'm changing to 9,000. Is in marketing now. I want to shift him to finance department. Are you clear? Click on save. See now, all the modified values came to EMP first. You can see. Name is modified. Job is not modified here, old value. Salary is modified, new value. TID is modified, 40. Earlier it is 10. Now it is 40. Now all the values will go to the DAL class. What is the DAL doing? First, the DAL is creating a reference with old values. Watch. Here are your old values. So when I put my mouse, it looks a little clumsy with all this data. Okay. I said you will resolve it. We'll resolve that particular problem. You see now? DID showing 10, old value. EID 1005, no edit for that. Name is John or new value Jones. Job is clerk, we did not change that. Salary is 8,000. Salary is 8,000. Am I correct? So we have modified it to 9,000. We have a new value. So now all the old values will be overridden with the new values. Now you can check, all of you. Operation not allowed. I did not understand. Louder here. Not important. Error is coming here, you are not there. Error is coming an employee update. DID. Okay. Let me recheck, guys. What are the error? Did I get it? Submit changes or when I assign the department ID? I forgot. This is a record. Edit. Jones. Finance. Why you got error? Updated here. I don't know why you got error. But not modify any code. Same thing only. Okay. Something in the background, glitch in the background. Okay. So Jones. 40 is the department. Are you clear? Okay, 40 in the department. So this record has been successfully updated. Now I want to delete a record, anything you like. I want to delete 1003 here. I want to delete 1003 here. Delete. Are you sure? Yes, I am. Hitting you. Come to F11. Same story. Status should be false. Submit. That's not there, but it is in the database. Okay, now, am I clear? Understood, all of you? So this is how you deal with multiple tables. This is how you deal with the multiple tables. If you have written stored procedures on your own, then you can skip the DAL class coding. But you did not write the stored procedures now. Because you did not write the stored procedures, it is important for you to write the DAL class. Okay, all the database code. And you see what are the methods you defined in the DAL class, all of you? The methods what you defined in the DAL class are these three methods just now we defined, we know them. DML to perform the DML. Additionally, we have get departments, which is going to get you a list of select list item to point to the drop down. Get employees, which is going to get you a list of EMPDEPT. Get employee, EMPDEPT. Are you clear? And you notice one thing here, in our controller and views, we did not refer to employee anywhere. We did not refer to department anywhere. And all that is in the DAL only. Why? Data logic will always be in the DAL. The DAL will return the information what is required for the controller and the view. What is required for the controller and view? EMPDEPT, not employee and department. That's what. All things are managed in the DAL class. Okay, now? So step one, a new DAL class. And this property, remember now? Next. A new model class, step two, DAL class, where all the logic has to be implemented. Okay, now, step three, add a controller. All the logic. Step four, the views. You started creating your views now. All the views. Okay. One small thing we missed it. Not error. Not any error. Here, in the controller class, you also require to import system.web.mvc. System.web.mvc. For what? Here somewhere we used it, guys, to refer to okay. Comment it. Where is the problem? It will only tell you. Oh, sorry. That is automatically going to come now. We don't require to bother about it. Okay, not here then. In the DAL class, I think. In the DAL class, you need to import configuration, LINQ, web.mvc. All these things should be added. Okay. I think I did not do that in the notes. In employee DAL, I put web.mvc. Okay, that is there. And to write the queries, you need system.link. For query writing, system.link is necessary now. Next, system.configuration to read from config file. Not an issue. Why I'm not considering issue is when you're typing automatically it'll import now. I don't require import. When I type configuration manager, it will import of now. Maybe when you're writing a query, error may come when you're writing a query. And for a query writing, what do you require? System.link. All done. The controller code. First view is my second view, is the third view, and is the fourth view. Perfect. Okay, guys, we have done with this. Fine. So here only be careful. We are fetching the data from the two tables. Employee, department. And I explained you this, remember? We cannot use where. What you should use here is dynamic. Dynamic should be used here. Okay? Where cannot be used in this context. You're required to use dynamic, and that dynamic should be used in the appropriate example, in the place. See, here also, in get employees also, dynamic. In get employee also, dynamic. Is everything clear? Yes or not? Okay. I think one more thing extra we missed here. We imported all. Collections will be automatically available. These three. That's it. Fine, guys. So this is all about a LINQ to SQL. LINQ to SQL. How to interact with the database by using LINQ to SQL. LINQ to SQL made the work simple compared with ADO.NET. Yes or not? Because it is generating the model classes to you. Without writing a stored procedure, it was giving you some simple options to perform your CRUD operations by calling methods like insert on submit, delete on submit, submit changes. We learned about all these methods and how we used them. All good. And it was launched in .NET 3.5. And guys, remember, the LINQ to SQL, which is launched in 3.5, was a big success. It was a very big success, actually. I repeat, this is going to be a very big success. Okay, fine. Now, because it is going to be a very big success, actually, people raised a question here. What is that? Why this approach was provided only for SQL Server? Why not for other databases? My application uses Oracle as a database. If my application is using Oracle as a database, so should I again go with ADO.NET? Why don't you give me the same option for Oracle? Did you catch my point? Why don't you give me the same option for Oracle? So in this process, later they introduced as LINQ to entities. LINQ to entities, which is renamed as entity framework, which is later renamed as entity framework, initially called as ADO.NET entity framework, later renamed simply as entity framework, actually. So what is this entity framework? Entity framework is also same like LINQ. But in entity framework, so many advanced features are available. Simplified coding. Still simplified, sir? Yes. Advanced features, simplified coding, multi-database support. Multi-database support was available. Are you getting me or not? So that is what entity framework. So if you know LINQ to SQL, you don't require to break your heads to understand about entity framework. It is as same as LINQ to SQL only. But the coding is bit simple compared with LINQ to SQL. Okay, now. And also one more thing to remember, it is basically simplified. The code got simplified. And also there is the option to interact with multiple data sources. Are you clear? But still, even though this option was introduced, the libraries that are required for communication are provided only for SQL Server. For other databases, you're required to purchase them from third-party libraries. Got it or not? By default, here also, It is given only for SQL Server. Why? SQL Server is Microsoft own product. For other databases, what it said is you're required to purchase the third-party libraries. Okay, where can we get this third-party libraries and all? I'll tell you going forward. But here also what we see is SQL Server. Basically, all code will see SQL Server only here. Okay, so I shown you how to communicate with SQL Server using ADO.NET. Second step, LINQ to SQL. Third, NT framework. Understood? Okay, so did you understand about NT framework? NT framework has benefits like multi-database support, less coding, and a simplified version. Okay, and much more simplified. And also, it has introduced us some different communication approaches for different communication approaches. What are these? Basically, it divides into three different options here. It divided NT framework communication options into three types. What are the three types? One, DB first approach. Two, database first approach. Code first approach. Model first approach. First one, database first approach. Second one, code first approach. Third one, what is database first approach? In database first approach, we design the database first. We create all the tables, stored procedures, whatever we require. We create them. And afterwards, we start developing our application. And you recollect yourself, this is the same thing what we followed in our ADO.NET also, LINQ to SQL also. So already you know database first. What is database first? Database is designed first. Sorry, database is created first. All the tables are designed. We create all these particular tables. If required, we write all the stored procedures, everything we do. After doing everything, then we come to our application and start designing our application based on the database. Clear? We have another approach. What is it? Code first. This is pure object-oriented programming. This is pure, what is it? Here, we don't have a database at all. We don't have a tables at all. Then what means we define the entities. We define the entities through model classes in the application. Remember, guys, no database, no table, nothing is here. We don't have database at all. Where you're starting from? You're starting from your application only first. Means, if you recollect, 4 steps we discussed for working. Identify the entities. Identify the attributes. Third step, database design, application design. You learned in C# classes. First step, identify the entities in your application. What is required? Department, employee, whatever it is. Identify the attributes. Means for department, what columns are there? For employee, what attributes, columns are there? All this identification. Step 3, we will design the database, create all the tables. Step 4, now in code first, these 2 steps are reversed. 3 and 4 are reversed. 3 and 4 are reversed. Means third step is not database designing. Third step is application development. Sir, without a database, we'll build an application? Exactly. Exactly. What you require to do, you know? You're required to define all the model classes. You're required to define all the model classes. All the model classes should be defined by you. And write all the logic. And when you run this project, when you run the project for the first time, what will it do, you know? It will create the database. It will create the tables. All will be created for you the first time you run the project. Means we are coming in a reverse approach now. Are you clear up? There are advantages here, disadvantages here. Advantages will be like, tomorrow, you are building an altogether new application. If you follow the previous process, database, what is it? The database as well as the application. Database, you will take a backup file. You learned in SQL classes. The backup file will give it to the database, restore it, and application will be installed. But in this approach, we don't require to give the database at all. What we give is only application. And the first time you run this application, what it will do, it will create the database. It will create the database. And this is pure object oriented. This is pure object oriented. So this is what we call as code first approach. We come in the reverse order now. Third one is model first. We don't use this approach anywhere. But what is model first is here, we don't design the database. We don't define the model class also, nothing. Then we are provided with one wizard. Using that wizard, we need to design our models. Just like some drag and drop we done in our web forms, remember? Same like that, we need to design our models. We don't write any code at all here. We design the models. When you run this project for the first time, it will create the model classes for you, as well as it will create the database also for you. But this approach have a lot of drawbacks. So this is provided with a very minimum support, and it is completely removed off in our .NET Core. Did you catch my point? It is completely removed in our .NET Core. And talking about NT framework, there are two versions of NT framework available here. One is NT framework 6. Second one is NT framework Core. NT framework 6 is what we use in MVC. And NT framework Core is what we use in MVC Core. ASP.NET uses NT framework. ASP.NET Core uses NT framework Core. Okay. So when Core came now, this NT framework also provided to you in the form of Entity Framework Core actually. Yeah. Just a second. Yeah. Say prior to 3.5, we means developers often used to write ADO.NET code to save or retrieve application data from the underlying database. Yeah, ADO.NET code. We use it to open a connection to the database, create a data set or data reader to fetch or submit the data to the database. And in this process, we convert the data present in the data set or data reader into .NET objects or vice versa to apply business rules. What is it? You're done in the first example. Nah? You converted into list. Okay. And say you perform this particular type of activities. This was a cumbersome and error prone. Why cumbersome? Lengthy coding here. 4 or 5 fields are there. I will define the model class. But imagine my table has 100 columns. I need to write a model class with 100 properties now. And like this, you have 100 tables. You will start crying now. That much code you require to write. 100 model classes you require to define on your own. And this is completely error prone. Why error prone? I said you very clearly. Tomorrow, the table is not accepting a null value and your property is accepting a null value. Error comes or not? Or your table column is accepting a null and your application is not accepting a null. Problems come now. You should be very careful and cautious. But what designer reduced all that work to you? It only written all the classes. If I drag and drop, it is telling I'll write the class to you now. And it is taking care of all the database rules. If the column accepts null, my application also will accept null. If the column doesn't accept null, my application also will not accept. Now tell me, if I drag and drop 100 tables, 100 model classes are defined in a fraction of seconds or not. But imagine here, you write all the 100 classes manually on your own now. It will take days of time here, not hours, days. Did you catch my point? Huh? Days of time is required for you in this case now. So which is going to be cumbersome as well as error prone. Microsoft has provided a framework called Entity Framework to automate all these database related activities for your application. Okay, an automated work. Entity Framework is an open source ORM. Already explained you ORM. What is it? Object relational mapping. Object relational mapping for .NET application supported by Microsoft. It enables developers to work with data using objects of domain-specific classes without focusing on the underlying database or tables or columns. Yeah, when you are working with LINQ here, we never focus on our database at all. Our focus is only on the model classes. Correct or not? We don't have any focus on the database. What is the name of the column? I don't know what is the name of the column. For me, it is the property. What is the name of the property is important for me, not the column. What my table is important. My table name is students, not student. See, recollect, you're not working with student, you're working with students, employees, departments. These are what you have. You don't focus on underlying database or tables or columns. Where this data is stored. With NT framework, developers can work at a higher level of abstraction when they deal with the data and can create and maintain data-oriented applications with less code compared with traditional application. NT framework is an object relational mapper that enables .NET developers to work with a database using .NET objects. It eliminates the need for most of the data access code that developers usually need to write. See, it eliminates data access code. Very less code you will be writing here. Okay. Sir, it is showing as object OR mapper here. You said object relational. ORM means mapping, I said you. But it's like mapper. A difference? Yes. The process is called as mapping. And the tool which does that work is called as mapper. Understood? You are a developer. What do you do? Developing. Understood? So you are a developer. What are you doing? I'm developing. So same way the tool name is mapper. What it will do? Mapping. Got it? So we have a ORM tool basically. Actually, I said you remember Monday, 2 ORM tools are there. One is OR Designer, which we already worked. Second one is EDM, Entity Data Model. That is the tool we use here, not OR Designer anymore. What is the tool? Entity Data Model. Entity Data Model is the tool. So if you see this picture, is the UI. This is the business layer, the business entities, domain classes, all these things will be present here. Means this is your application, man. Middleware, front end, middleware, backend. Understood? This is the data layer where the NT framework will be communicating with the things now. Backend, this is the data layer. And this is the NT framework. This data layer talks with the database with the help of NT. What is this? Controllers. What is this, sir? This is your models that is talking to database by taking the help of entity framework. As per the above figure, entity framework fits between the domain classes and the database. It saves data stored in the properties of business entities and retrieve data from the database and converts into business entities automatically. What is it telling you? Array, whatever I assign in the model classes will be sent to the table. And when I'm fetching from the table, it will come to model. It will come to model. Next. Microsoft introduced NT Framework 2008 with .NET Framework 3.5 SP1. Actually, .NET Framework 3.5 LINQ to SQL came. .NET Framework 3.5 Service Pack 1 Entity Framework came. Both not in the same time. First what came? 2007 LINQ to SQL came. 2008 LINQ to entities came. Both are completely different. Since then, it released many versions of the entity framework. Currently, there are 2 latest versions of entity framework. What I said here. One is EF6, EF core. The following table list important differences between EF6 and EF core. First one. First released in 2008 with the .NET Framework 3.5 Service Pack 1. That one. Released in June 2006 with the .NET Core 1.0. You know when .NET was launched? .NET Core was launched in .NET Core which year? 2016. Then only EF Core was also launched. Second, stable and feature rich. That one. New and evolving. Because every day, new enhancements are being made there still. Next. Framework version supports only on Windows. There Windows, Linux, Mac. OS X is Mac. Next. .NET Framework 3.5 and above. Means tomorrow I'm building an application with the .NET Framework 3.0. I cannot use NT Framework here. What should I use? ADO.NET. ADO.NET. Sir, LINQ can be used in .NET Framework 3.5. This one, 3.5 Service Pack 1. Okay, there. You can use in .NET Framework 4.5 plus and .NET Core. Even though we can use it, but we never use it with framework applications. We use always with the .NET Core applications. Both are open source here. Both are open source architectures only. Here comes your DAL class. The data layer comes your DAL class. Here is your DAL class. And the DAL class taking the NT framework help on the database. Okay. And here the business layer. The business layer basically the business entities or domain classes means it tells about the model classes also here. It talks about the model classes also in this, but domain classes in the sense my model classes. My model classes. Okay. But here the data layer, what is this data layer? This data layer is nothing but all the database code you write. All the database code you write. Correct? No. The entity framework code. You don't write. See, when you are working with LINQ, you called a method called insert on submit. Did you write that method? Tell me. That is the data layer. That method is developed by someone. That is the data layer now. Are you clear? And that data layer is internally talking to the database. That data layer is internally talking. Here also, just like submit changes, insert on submit. We have similar methods here also now. And that is called as a data layer, which is going to talk with the database by taking the help of entity framework. By taking the help of the entity framework. Here what comes generally here means a little bit confusion here what it states to us. What is it? This one will tell you like model classes or the business layer. No guys, model classes will come under data logic layer only. But basically this picture is telling you it is considering the model classes also as business layer. This picture is considering the model classes also as business layer. But frankly speaking, model classes should be taken as a data layer. Means in Microsoft sense, what it tells data layer means it is telling like entity framework code, all the classes what I give to you, data context class. Okay, all these particular things it will take as data layer because those classes will communicate with the database. Even though you defined a model, is your model directly talking to the database? Answer my question. Is your model directly talking with the database? No. Model is talking with the data layer. Data layer means data context and all. They are talking to the database. That is why it has brought that model also into business layer. It brought the model also into the business layer. Okay. So why means what it tells is, array, your model is not directly talking with the database now. So that is why I'm telling model also is a business layer. And here data layer means the class is what I provided to you, data context class. Okay. Still, you just work employees. All these things I'm considering them as data layer. Now see EF6 version started with. Now the current latest is 6.5.1. The current. This is the latest version what we are going to use now. And when you come to core, yeah, no need to bother about core at all. What is the .NET Core latest version? 9.0. EF Core latest version is also 9.1 only. See those versions exactly match with your .NET Core versions. Do you remember .NET Core versions? First version 1.0, second 1.1. Afterwards 2.0, 2.1, 2.2. Next 3.0, 3.1. Then came 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. What is your .NET Core versions and EF Core versions will always be same. No confusions with that. Confusion only with framework and EF versions, but not with core and EF Core versions. Core and EF Core versions are exactly same. because both came on the same day. But when you work with NT framework and .NET framework, both did not come on the same day, na? .NET framework came in 2002, NT framework came in 2008. So version mismatch. But .NET Core and EF Core came on the same day. That is why there is no version mismatch here. There is no version mismatch coming into picture here. Okay. Well, next. Yeah. NT framework features here. These are cross-platform modeling. This modeling will talk about your model classes and get set properties. Querying, you can write queries. Change tracking in the sense, if any, after loading the data into your application, if any changes are done to the data in the database, you can track them. I loaded some 100 records into my application here. Afterwards, some new records are entered into the database. I can track this particular information. Saving, you can do saving, insert, update, delete, all these particular things. Concurrency in the sense, like parallel execution, guys. Means, they remember in multi-threading classes, I taught you a concept called as thread synchronization. Asynchronous calls are dangerous when one is trying to perform an operation. Second one, if I try to do it, we get unexpected results. Even in applications also we discussed, man, an application object is not thread safe. So we need to call unlock and lock. There also I explained you the concept to you. Okay, same. It'll provide you concurrency for you basically. What is that concurrency? Like when one user is trying to perform any operations, it will lock it and will not allow others to do the operations at the same time. Otherwise, if two are trying to modify the same record, problems will come now. That concurrency will be maintained. Transaction management, commits, rollbacks, all these options are available. Caching, what is it? Caching, do you remember I taught you this concept to you? I did not show you. I'll show you, but I taught you. What is it? When you are trying to interact with the database and load the data multiple times without doing it at a time, you can load and store it in the cache, and you can use the same copy for multiple requests. I did not show you that, but I explained you the concept. I will show you in our later classes what is caching and all. It provides you caching, built-in conventions, configurations, migrations, all these things I need to practically show you guys. I need to practically show you. I listed you, but all these things I will show you practically, and the time of showing, I will tell you this is called as migration. This is called as convention. All these particular things we'll discuss going forward step by step. Then we have 3 approaches. See the database first approach. Look at the picture, you will understand. First, look at the picture. You have a database in tables. NT framework is going to generate you the context and entity classes. NT classes means model classes. Model or NT same only na. NT class means model classes. In general, listen carefully. The combination of both the two things. What is it? Context and entity. We call them as domain classes. Okay. So what is telling you? Context means, you know context na? Data context. Second one, entity classes. Nothing but model classes. The things that confuse you is different technologies use different jargon. That is a confusion what we have. Entity classes or model classes, both are same only. I clarified you earlier also. But sometimes we say model, sometimes we say entity. Don't be confused. Even I say model or even I say entity, both are same. Context plus model or entity classes are called as domain classes. Context plus entity or model classes are called as domain classes. See there, this is the database and tables. This is what it generates you. It will generate all the things for you now. Read this. We have a tool available. It will do for us. Are war designer, yeah. It is talking about a war designer doing it. But here the name of the tool is EDM, I said you, not war designer. What is it? EDM. That will do all the work for you. That will do all the work for you in this case now. Read the note. EF6 have full support, but EF core has limited support. EF core has limited support. Okay. This is the most recommended and used option basically. Code first. Look at the picture first. Alright, just now I said your domain classes means context plus entity. You will write the domain classes first. Entity framework will come now and create the database in tables. Creates the database in tables. DB first, I don't require to explain you. You already worked with DB first only. The last 3 examples are DB first only for you. Read it. What is domain driven design? Domain driven design means I am least bothered about the database here. I focus only on my object oriented code. I focus only on my object oriented code. I am least bothered about the database and all. I don't know database at all first. Did you catch my point? I don't know database. I don't know what is SQL Server, how to create a table. I don't know how to insert a record in the table. I don't know at all. What I know is only object-oriented programming. For me, table means class. I know how to define a class. Are you clear? But I don't know how to create a table. This class will create the table for you now. I know how to create an instance, but I don't know how to insert a record. This instance will insert the record for you. I know how to create a reference, but I don't know how to update a record. This reference will update for you. That is what we call as domain driven design. I purely focus on object oriented, but not on relational. Some people least bother about the database. Always they focus only on their application. My application knows only everything. I will do everything from my application only. Nothing, I will not directly go to database anytime. So that's called as domain driven design. Third one, look at the picture first. Just a minute. We have a wizard. Using that, we will be designing all the models now. The Entity framework will create your domain classes plus means both are designed, both are done by the wizard only now. Understand the first approach, you design the database, Entity framework will create you model classes. Second is reverse. You design the model class, Entity framework will create your database. Third one is the worst. We should not use this approach at all. I said you, there is no support for this in the latest versions. It is completely removed off. What it tells is, I'll give you widgets, use drag and drops. I will create tables. I will create classes. All these things, you are making the developer lazy. Are you getting my point? It will only do everything for you now. See, limited support. That is removed off completely. That's why I said the worst option, that removed off completely. We don't use this anywhere. Read the model first. On the visual designer integrated into and then generate entities, context classes, and database scripts from your Visual Studio. All these things will be generated to you by the studio, basically. And I'm going to show you all 3 options to you. But one and only one example on model first. Just how to use it, that's all. I won't focus on it because that is not used in the industry and that is not going to be available in the future also. Clearer? My prime focus will be on code first. Why? Model DB first, you saw so many examples already now. I'll show you one example on DB first also, but my prime focus will be on the code first, that approach. And now your question will be, sir, which approach to follow? Okay, listen. You already, I'm asking a question. Do you have an existing database? This is a question for you. Do you have, you're building an application here. I'm questioning you. Do you have an existing database? Answer me. How many answers are there for this? Two answers. First answer, yes. Second answer, no. Okay. Suppose your answer is yes. Then go to DB first. Then go to DB first. Your answer is no. No, don't come up to conclusions immediately. No. No, sir, I don't have a database. Okay, you don't have a database, huh? Then tell me, are you interested in creating a database? Are you interested in creating a database? Yes, I'm interested in creating a database. Again, DB first only. No. No, I'm not interested in creating a database. Are you clear? Okay. No. If I'm interested, again DB first only. No, sir, I'm not interested in creating a database. No. Array, again, don't come up to conclusion. Wait. No. Okay. Are you interested in designing the model classes at least? Yes. Then code first. No, I'm not interested. Then last one, model first. Array, I'm not interested in designing the database. I'm not interested in creating the model classes. Then model first. See, the picture tells you. Start. Already have existing domain classes? Yes, I have existing domain classes. Code first. I just said in the reverse order, that's all. So first, do you have classes? Asking you. No, sir, I don't have. Yes, sir. Code first. No, sir. If no, then the question is, are you interested in... Sorry. No means, do you have an existing database then? Yes. Database. No, I don't have. Means you don't have model classes also. You don't have database also. Understood? Then, do you prefer using a designer? No. Sorry. Yes. Model first. No, sir, I'm not interested in the designer also. If you're not interested in designer, then you should be interested in code first, or you should be interested in model first. That decision making should be done. Again, see? No. Again, see? Want to design a database? Yes. No. Flowchart. Did you understand the flowchart? Tell me. That's what a decision making chart, not like flowchart also, what we call a decision making chart. This tells you where you want it to do. It's all depends upon your interest. What are you interested? I'm asking you this particular question for you. Do you have a database? I don't have a database. You don't know nothing. I'm starting roughly raw now. I don't have anything. So now tell me, are you interested in database designing? DB first. No, sir, I'm very poor in database. Are you good with object-oriented programming? Yes, sir, I'm good in object-oriented programming. Then go with code first. Sir, I'm poor in object-oriented programming also. Then don't build the application at all first. You don't know anything you can do. Learn something. Okay? But I'm okay with object-oriented. I know object-oriented programming also. I know database programming also, but I'm lazy. Model first, yeah. That's what I'm telling you. Model first. I'm lazy. I don't want to do anything now. Then go for model first. That's the lazy option. Are you clearer? Okay. Or you say, I'm interested in database, then go with DB first. I'm interested in object-oriented, go with code first. That's what we call decision-making chart. You require to look at that to make up your decision perfectly. Understood the picture or not? Let us start with database first. I don't require to give any explanation for you at all for this. Why? Already last 4 days or 5 days, you worked with that approach only. Only difference is the tool you are going to use is different. Rest all is same. Did you catch my point? What is the difference? The tool what you are going to use here is different. Rest all will be same. Observe this, guys. Observe this. I am creating a project. We don't have any difference at all. You will notice, like, watch. I will name this project as MVC with entity framework DB first example. Okay. Our own project, all same. MVC. I want to tell you quickly. Actually, tomorrow I'll not be available, guys. Tomorrow I'll not be available. So what my suggestion is, if you want, I'll show you this again, Monday again, one more time. Don't focus on this at all. Complete your LINQ examples perfectly. You have 2 days of time. With today, 3 days of time. Complete ADO.NET completely. LINQ to SQL. All the 3 examples of LINQ to SQL perfectly first. Got it? Debug here. Debug each and every of the appropriate thing. Okay. Look. Just I'm only giving a quick overview just to tell you, LINQ to SQL and entity framework DB first are same. To prove that only I'm showing you. That's it. Now open the add new item window. If you want to work with LINQ, what you're doing, you're selecting data, and here you're choosing LINQ to SQL classes. Correct now? Now you're going to choose the first option. What is the first option? See? EDM, Entity Data Model, ADO.NET EDM, Entity Data Model. The extension of this particular thing is edmx. It is not showing you, but the extension is edmx. For LINQ, DBML. Did you notice it? The full form? Database Markup Language. Here, edmx, Entity Data Model Extension. Entity Data Model Extension. Now, this is same like Word Designer only. But when you come to Word Designer, I set you one standard for you. What is that? Array, this name, give you a database name. That is a good practice, I said you. Why, sir? Because with the same name only, data context class will be created. Got it or not? Suppose you give some XYZ here, your context class will be name will be XYZ data context, will be confusing. But see, MVC DB data context is more related. What is that? This class instance when created will connect with MVC DB database. Tomorrow you have a database with a name called Northwind. Better you are going to name it as northwind.dbml. So what will happen? Northwind data context. So it will be clearer for you to understand, more related. But here you don't have that particular restriction here. Give any name you like. I'm giving the name as test EF. Sir, if I give any name like this, is the context class going to be created with the database name for me? Because you said that is more related now. Yes, it will create. How, sir? How will it create? Because watch it. Click on the add button. It will open you a widget. It will open you a widget. And here it will ask you, what is it? Choose the option what you want. First one, DB first. Model first. Code first. DB first. Model first. Code first. This is nothing but basically it will add you an empty thing. That's all. But this is sorry, not this one. This is not code first. This is DB first. This is the code first. Empty code. And this is the empty code first. And this is the model first. I'm sorry. This is the model first. This is the code first. This one I'll tell you later. I'll talk about this later. This one, DB first. This one, model first. Code first. This one I'll tell you later. Once you understand the concept, I'll tell you what is this. Option is using this. Give next. That database configuration wizard will open directly here. Means not like adding the Word Designer, opening the Server Explorer, configuring, drag and drop. No, completely automized now. See, you selected the wizard is running now. Come on, you know this now? New connection. Watch. Okay. And it'll write a connection string for you, right? And in the bottom, it is telling you, this is the name I'm giving to the connection string. There it given you MVC DB connection string something, remember? But here the connection string name is MVC DB entities. If you want to change it, you can change it. But there I don't have the choice. But here I have the choice. I want to name it a const here. Name it here, whatever it is. Okay, then it is asking, shall I write this connection string in the config file for you or not? Yes, write it. Write it. It's all wizard here. Yes. Click next. It'll ask you, which version of NT framework do you want to use? The latest 6.0 or the old 5.0? Let us use the latest one, 6.2. Click next. Now, it'll connect off to the database now, and it will load and show you all the tables and procedures, whatever you have created, everything will come a list here. Watch. Retrieving database information, please wait. Watch. You got everything here. Are you clear? Now I'm selecting the models, what I want. Department, employee, whatever you want, select. If you want procedures, select them. Whatever you want, select them. And click on finish. Are you clear? Now tell me, you started the widget. Now it will generate all the classes to you. But when you come to what designer, first context class is generated. Afterwards, you configure with database. Correct or not? That is the reason why first only it will tell you to give the DBML file name as a database name. So I will take that name now. But here, see, the context class is generated after I click on the finish button now. See, first you configured up with the database already now. That is why it will take up the database name. But there it happened reverse. First context class came, afterwards configuring with the database. But here configuring with the database is done first. Now, this finish button will generate the context class. That is the reason why it will directly take the database name only for you now. Did you understand or not? This is why. Okay, some package is not installed. Let us see it will happen or not. It said you not install, but it's running. Okay, if it runs to you, you can see the visual representation of your tables directly on the screen. You can see the visual representation of your tables directly on the screen. Just watch. No drag and drops here, guys. This is all widget based. This is all widget based. Yes. Okay. Some error came. Don't bother about this. Watch. Done. You know from here, na? You know from here. All the classes are ready. All the classes are ready. Start working with your classes. Start working with your classes. Am I clear or not? Understood? Now again, I'm telling you. Now context class is generated. After configuring with the database, that is why context class will directly take the database name only now. But in LINQ, we are doing in a reverse order. What is it? First context class is generated. Afterwards, configuring with the database. That is why already class is generated. Then how can it take database name? That is why it is telling you, you only tell the database name. You only tell the database name, but here it is not telling you. You give whatever name you want. Extension, I said you remember edmx. We'll have it out. So tomorrow, if I want to add a new table, there drag and drop now. Anytime I can drag and drop it there. If I want to add a new table, very simple, man. Right click. Update. Update. It opens the widget back again. Already you selected of two tables now. Finish. It'll generate you. All three. Am I clear? Understood? So this is the process. You want to work with stored procedures? Same. Right click. Update. Select your stored procedures. Select your stored procedure. Whatever you want. Everything is done through the widget. And this is as same as our LINQ to SQL. There we followed a separate process. We added a blank one, then configured the database and drag and drop. But here everything happened on the widget. We are running the widget in the widget only. We are providing all the details. finally the wizard has generated me everything for me. So I can directly go to my application and start writing my controllers and views now. Are you clearer or not? I can start writing my controllers and views. You'll ask a doubt, sir, what about DAL class? Not required. Why, sir? Are you using procedures? No, I'm not using procedures. I'll follow the old process only, but I don't require. Why? That only I said to you. It is a simplified version. It is a simplified version. If you want to fetch data from two tables, you don't require to write any joins here. No need, no need. You don't require to write any joins here, or you don't require to again create a new list. If you want to get the data from two tables, you don't require to create a combination model. Not required here. Nothing is required. First example, I'll show you with the two only. But still, I don't require a EMP DPT class. I don't require a EMP DPT class. All the things are simplified, giving you a very easy to use approach without writing any complex code. So we will not work with, or we will not write a DAL class at all here. Did you understand me or not? We are not going to write a DAL class at all. We will write everything straight away in our controller. In our controller and model. So what we need is only controllers, views. No need DAL class. Models are ready. No DAL class required. Straight away controllers and views. And we are not going to use the stored procedures also. Straight away we can talk without the stored procedures. Also we can talk with the databases. That's all the beauty of entity framework. I will show you using this wizard one more time, Monday session. Okay, don't bother about, don't touch this now, but be perfect with LINQ to SQL and ADO.NET. Just like not one-time practice. You should be doing a practice in such a way you're confident on it. Try to do 1 or 2 times. All these examples. Clear? Let me stop here. We'll meet on Monday. Shrestha, you understood DB first? You worked with DB first only, na? Last 4 days or 5 days, you worked with DB first only. DB first means first you design the tables and all, and afterwards you create your application, and that will configure the model. Now I shown you DB first only. From last Monday, what I'm showing you is DB first only in the classroom. We are working with DB first only from Monday.